figure it out as we go. All right, everybody. Thanks so much for joining us today. I know it's a beautiful day outside, but hopefully we can get through this pretty quickly and talk about the positional qualities of central midfielders. We are going to focus mostly on the 4-3-3 or variations that involve three central midfielders, the 6, 8, and 10. There are obviously some formations like the 4-4-2, flat 4-4-2, diamond 4-4-2, 3-4-3 flat that are a little different in terms of the player qualities. So we'll talk about that in a second, but we can just look at the next slide and we can see the example. So we've got obviously the 4-3-3, 4-2-3-1, which is just two holding midfielders. 4-3-3 is one holding mid, 4-4-2 flat, a diamond shape in the middle with a 4-4-2-4, which 4 forwards going super aggressive. The 4 diamond 4, you can turn the diamond on its side and go in a box with 2 deep and 2 higher up the field. We look at 3-4-3-4 flat. A 3-3-1-3 would look a little bit more like a three-player midfield. 3-2-3-2 again would look similar. A 3 diamond 3 and then 3-3-4. So again, it's not always 4-3-3. I think probably 3-5-2 and 4-3-3 are the two most prominent. So we look in the little video there. Whoop. Back there in a second. So we look, that's a 4-3-3. So you see the 6 is the deepest midfielder, and then you've got 2 higher midfielders in the 8 and the 10 in front. And I think if you hit play there, Nate, at the bottom, there should be a. If you go back, Nate, there should be at the bottom of that one more. Yeah, there you go. There should be a way to play. Yep, somewhere. Maybe if you just hit on the hit the green. No, maybe not. There it is. Okay. So yeah, so we can just see that's 4-3-3. So just one deep midfield. If we want to play a 4-2-3-1, we've just got the 6 and the 8 playing next to each other. So it'll be a 4-4-2. So 7-11, really similar to wide players still in a 4-3-3. So when we look at those players, here's the most unique formation. You look at the 7 and the 8 on either side. There's some really specific qualities that those players need to have. But if we look at some of these others, you can see wing backs in a 3-5-2 are going to be similar to wide players as well. So that's why we're really just focusing on 6, 8, 10 in those specific roles here today. So we want to start looking at the positional qualities and how we break it down. Obviously, they're all connected, but there's the technical component, the tactical component, there's the mental or the cognitive component, and then there's the physical component. So we'll take a look at each one of those and some quick videos within each one. Of each position, there's a lot of similarities in the 6, 8, and 10, but then there's going to be some differences as well. So we look at technical, got to be good at 1v1s, and that's going to be true of all the positions on the field. First touch to create or exploit space, different range of passing, different distances, different weights, dribbling to progress or protect, the ability to deal with balls out of the air, particularly with your head as a holding midfielder, and then long range shooting. So we can start looking. I'm not going to talk a lot about each one of those. We just can look at the different videos. So look at 1v1 duels. This first one is of Conte. You see he just receives the ball, turns, and finds Willian in the midfield. And we'll just replay it twice there. So that's one version of a 1v1 duel from an attacking perspective. We're going to look at this one here. This is Fabinho coming across the cover in a little 1v1. Whoop. See, that's the Fabinho there, 1v1 duel there. This is Ndidi from Leicester City and winning the tackle. So a lot of 1v1s have to deal with the tackle when we're discussing the defensive midfielder. Again, coming across and covering that wide area of the field. We think of the central midfielders as a central player, and you see they win a lot of duels in that area, but they do also have to cover in behind those wide players and in front of the fullback. So the fullback maybe has to deal with the winger. So then we look at first touch to create space. We look here, Julie Ertz, quick little touch to elude pressure. All right. This is actually a 1v1 duel with this is the Croix. See, this is that video issue we were talking about, Nate. They keep kind of randomly popping up, and now we went to a whole different page, huh?
Yeah, it just pops up on me, so.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on.
That's right. We'll bring it back.
Slow. Oh, yeah. Maybe that's the key. Maybe it's just using the arrows instead. So we look at the first touch to create space. So we looked at Julie Ertz. We look at this one. Here's this is Ndidi again from Leicester City. See close control. Well, yay. Julie Ertz escaping pressure. And we see Ndidi there. Oh my goodness, what is going on? Little first touch there from the Croix to get around his defender and escape that pressure. So different types of that first touch. Sometimes it's close control. Sometimes it's a bigger touch to get out of pressure. Range of passing. So obviously some shorter passes that we need to connect, and then obviously there'll be some longer passes that we need to try to execute. So look here, this is Busquets. You see he's finding a lot of passes on the ground and in between lines to really cause the defense some problems. So this is an important pass to be able to make to help your team build out of the back and into the more attacking areas of the field. So again, just a similar type of pass every time. So that's one type of passing that's important for defending midfielders to have. You can look at the next one. And then this one is Kougamai from Olympique Lyon. So there's a pass. You see that she receives a pass. There's a different angle. Pass to relieve pressure. And she just finds a long ball in behind, all right, to her teammate who can then attack the goal. So we do have to have that longer range passing. Here's just a simple little through ball again from Ndidi, finding Jamie Vardy. All right. And they can get a simple tap in here. Again, just a pass to maintain possession. All right. And getting Ndidi will win a ball here. And then they'll just find the quick pass out. Important little pass to play. We actually worked on with the 04 girls the other day. This little clip pass in behind into the box. All right, Nate, if you want to maybe show that one again, it's a pretty short one. The little clip ball in behind, all right, especially against packed in defenses. If a team is sitting in very deep, that little clip pass that Fabinho played is one you'll see quite a lot. Our PowerPoint has not been nice to us, everybody, so appreciate you having some patience. We trying to figure out what the issue is, but it just keeps giving us problems. This PowerPoint has not liked us very much. PowerPoint not a fan of the midfielders, apparently. My favorite position on the field, though.
Yeah, it just froze.
I just stuck. I might have to restart. Oh, no, there we go. Well.
This is mine of its own on what video it wants to play.
Yeah. We'll look at dribbling. We don't think of the six as a player who needs to dribble a lot, but they are players who have to dribble to escape pressure. You see Ndidi here just kind of turning on the dribble to escape pressure. Same thing here. So important to have that close control. And then we see Julie Ertz here. She's going to tease her opponent and change direction 3 or 4 times before she finds the pass forward that she wants. Oh, we skip the heading.
Every time I touch it, it does its own thing.
Yeah. See. Okay. Well, I feel better that in some ways I feel better that it wasn't just me. And I don't know why it's.
We'll go up to long range shooting once I can get up to there.
Yeah. Too bad we couldn't split the screen because I could have the videos just individually, not within the PowerPoint. I have them online. So we can see that dribbling to progression. What we'll do, we'll make sure that we put this, the actual PowerPoint, we'll make it available so you guys can look at the clips yourselves. But dealing with, obviously, you got to win headers, mostly from goalkeeper, from goal kicks and punts. I think in particular are the areas that you're going to see the most. I think most of them, if we see one, and then also in the box, if you can be a threat in the box. So long range shooting, you can see that's Ndidi receiving the ball's half cleared, and he comes out to the top of the box. So that's an instance where a defensive midfielder is going to find themselves a lot. So that ability to put that shot back in is super, super helpful. And then we can look at one other one where I think there's one with Ndidi who receives on the run in space. Or Conte, one of those two will work. This is, yep. So this is Ndidi again. This is a FA Cup game against Derby. He can pick up the ball here. He rotates himself into available space on the dribble and hits a shot from distance off the post and in. So again, just a different type of shot. And then there's Conte here, just a nice little finesse finish as he dribbles and beats players or gets into that little pocket behind the midfielders in front of the central defenders. So there's a little bit of lack of communication about who's supposed to pick him up and confront him. So all of those technical aspects important for us to have as holding midfielders. Again, what mixture you have of these is going to range from player to player. So I think it's really important to know what your strengths are technically. Kind of figure out maybe if you're to play the 6, how do you want to play the 6, or even how your coach wants to play the 6. Some people want really like that ball winner, like we saw with the Ndidi and Decore ones and the 1v1 duels, and others want that range of passing. Sergei Busquets and Wilfred Ndidi are two very different types of holding midfielders. They're two of the very best in the world. Conte as well at what they do, but how they do it is going to be very, very different, and that's okay. Again, it comes down to their skill set. It comes down to the way that their coaches want them to play, or maybe their coaches put them into those positions based on what the coaches value as well. So when we look at the tactical aspects, we look at positioning off of the ball, both offensively and defensively. We look at the ability to anticipate or read play, to be in those positions, to maybe intercept passes in particular as the holding midfielder. We look at marking and tracking. Marking and tracking as a midfielder is a little less about being right next to a player and just recognizing when you have to get close to a player. You don't necessarily follow somebody around the field. So that's a.
I didn't touch it. I'm not touching it.
Not touching it?
I'm not touching it. It's doing its own thing.
That's like a Ouija board.
I mean, I'll go back, but
yeah.
Well,
apparently, you got to go back more, huh? It's funny how it worked for you before too. So we won't even try to. Hopefully, it'll just. So we look at marking and tracking. We look at covering and recovery. Again, this would be in particular, covering in behind the wingers, the 7 and the 11, when they get beat. So the holding midfielder has to come over and confront or slow down the opponent at times, or they might have to even drop into the center back space when they get pulled out. So that would be one type of covering and recovery. And then the vision, obviously, to find passes. We think about the technical aspects of Busquets finding those through balls on the ground in between the lines of the opponent. And so that would be important. So we look at the positioning here. This is Busquets again. He's available to receive the pass from one side of the field. He draws the attention because of his location on the field, draws the attention to the opposite vertical half, and then comes back to the other side. But that's all based on his positioning. If he's too high or too low, too close to the ball carrier, too far away from the ball carrier, then he can't affect the game in that way. So that positioning is important from a supporting standpoint there. So we look at the mental aspects, just having a presence, In the midfield, again, are you somebody who dictates the tempo of the game with the ball? Are you a ball winner? Are you somebody tough in the air? So you have that kind of quality that the other team recognizes as something that they really have to, have to figure out how they're going to be able to deal with you. The leadership component is obviously a big one. Something that, how are you going to lead? Are you going to be very, very vocal? Are you going to be somebody who is less vocal? Or are you going to, just basically, what are you going to do from that leadership standpoint? I know you might not be able to see it right now, but your command, what are you doing in terms of your ability to control situations? So when your teammate, when your 7 and 11 are getting beaten a lot and you're having to cover in behind, are you able to communicate with them to maybe fix? Are you able to make sure that you're leaving that central area, that you're making sure that you're securing the middle of the field? Intelligence is another aspect of the mental side of the game. So there's a lot of things you have to read within the game in order to make sure that you're making the right passing decisions, that you're making the right decisions in terms of your positioning on and off the ball, both defensively and offensively. On top of that, you have to be decisive. So if you're intelligent and you can see the game and you understand what needs to happen, all right, from a theoretical standpoint, you actually have to put that into action. So when you're decisive, it allows you to actually take the action at the appropriate time, as opposed to just sort of reacting, or just in your head you see the game, but you don't actually take any action. So that say, I'm going to step up and win this tackle. All right, I'm going to drop a little bit deeper here and protect my back four. I'm going to go up and I'm going to win this challenge in the air. But then you also have to be disciplined. You can't just go charging all around the field, trying to cover everybody and trying to do all the work, which you'll see sometimes some really active holding midfielders play that way. You have to have some discipline. Okay, in this moment, I have to stay home. In this moment, I can take a risk and go forward. In this moment, I have to stay on my feet here and just keep the opponent going one way. In this moment, I have to make a tackle here. I have to make a sliding tackle in order to potentially make that play. So that's important from that aspect in terms of doing the right thing. So we look at the physical characteristics. And we look at mobility. So obviously you've got you have to go from side to side, touchline to touchline. That's really important. Your quickness, you don't necessarily have to be the fastest player, but you do have to have a little bit of quickness, that ability to close down a player over a shorter distance. And I would also say quickness of mind. Again, it goes back to that mental quality of reading the game. We always think of quickness as a physical quality, but there's also a mental aspect to it as well. You have to have some power. You're in a lot of duels, 1v1 on the ground, in the air, and you've got to cover some ground as well. So there's got to be some power involved in your game. In that regard, strength, obviously you've got to be strong to win those 1v1 duels. Agility, you're going to have to change direction frequently. All right, you're going to have to jump. You're going to have to maneuver around. You have to turn when you have an opponent close to you, if the ball's coming into you. So you have to have that agility to change direction. And then your fitness level has to be really, really high, especially from an aerobic standpoint. So you need to be able to sustain a certain level of fitness. And then you have to have, periodic sprinting in there as well. So maybe not the same extent as a fullback or a central defender or even a 10, but you definitely have to have a high level of aerobic fitness to be able to maintain, with the ability to change your tempo at certain times as well. Fortunately, there's no video with those slides, so they should go a little bit easier. So we'll look at now the 8. All right, this is probably the most complicated position, I think, of all of them. Even if you're playing as a 2 holding midfielders, often we're going to ask one of those 2 midfielders to be a little bit more advanced when we attack. So a lot of the same things. So 1v1 duels, first touch to create and exploit space, range of passing, dribbling to progress. Turning, I think, maybe is a little bit more important. The 6 tends to see the field and play with their vision out toward the goal that we're defending, whereas the 8 has to receive the ball with their back to the goal that we're attacking a little bit more. And then their finishing is changing. It's good for them to be able to shoot from outside the box, but hopefully they get into the box as well in certain moments when they're appropriate. So that's just a little bit different. We'll see.
What video do you want me to show or try?
Try the 1v1 duels and see if Pages likes us more. So again, this is Xavi. All right, so just add a little bit of that 1v1, just to comfortable with that opponent on him, no problem. Use some fakes and feints, some dribbling ability to get around, and then gets forward into the attack. So that's something an 8 would do a lot. You see Xavi again here, turning, all right, provoking the defender to come toward him, all right, and then able to find a pass in behind. Again, tight space, 1v1, all right, able to elude the pressure, all right, and get into an advanced attacking area and deliver a ball into the box. So those are the types of 1v1 duels. Again, there's the defending aspect. You saw what the defending aspect looks like in the 6. There's not a lot of difference in terms of what 8s have to do in that regard. So very, very similar. So the first touch to create space. We're 2 for 2 on the video, so hopefully we can. Hopefully this page is this slide's better. You just see that little ball out of the air, the ability to flick. All right, he creates that space. The space is behind it. Just that little cleverness in the first touch. All right. Again, here's a ball that he wins out of the air, keeps close control, and able to turn out of pressure. So just escapes there with that first touch, or keeps it close with the first touch. Second touch, he's able to elude pressure. Same kind of, I think this might be the same clip as well. So you see that first touch to keep it close control, and touch to, he creates the space with the first touch, then exploits it with the second touch. So range of passing, again, very similar to the 6, all right, but we'll see maybe some passes closer to the goal are important for this player. For the 8, all right, this is Pogba, so longer range passes played in behind. The 8 has that ability to kind of float to wherever space is a little bit more than the 6, all right? They can float a little bit wider, so you see Pogba in here, you know, those passes are both from a little bit wider than central in the kind of the half space. This one, Pogba is dropped a little bit deeper, plays the pass in behind, all right? Again, receiving the ball, a little bit of a turn, and then recognizing the space to play in behind there. So this longer range, little diagonal passes, important for the 6 to be able to play, or the 8 rather, to be able to play. So if this is something that's not necessarily a strength for you, definitely something that makes it more difficult to defend you, because you're able to play those passes from deeper areas. All right, this is Xavi just dropping in. All right, and you see he's kind of playing those similar passes to Busquets, the pass that's in between the lines, all right, that finds an advanced attacking player. All right, again, dropping a little bit deeper and then finding Messi with the ball. All right, that was Busquets there, again, finding that pass. So important to be able to play those kind of passes in between the lines. And then closer to the goal, all right, you see this little ball again that we talked about from Fabinho. All right, this is a pass again, a little clipped in ball here from Pogba, in behind for Griezmann to volley. It's a pretty decent goal. All right, so again, you see that range of passing required from the 8. The 8 playing that similar pass between the lines, but maybe a little bit higher up the field. The 6 is playing it closer to the goal he or she is defending, and the 8 is playing it a little bit more toward the goal he or she is attacking. And then dribbling to progress or protect, again, you're going to receive the ball in a lot of area. You're kind of that link player. So can you get the ball from the defending area of the field closer to the attacking area of the field? So we see we're just dribbling here in that area. So can we get it, and can we move it, progress it more toward our own goal? All right, so that would be an aspect that the 8 has to do, again, a little bit more than the 6. All right, the 6 is dribbling to protect, to get it to the players who can advance the ball. The 8 is one of those players who can advance the ball. So again, you see just dribbling there to retain, and he's going to go back to Busquets, and then we're going to be able to switch the point of attack there. So again, receiving the ball in that area to link, all right, and then being able to dribble, to protect, and then eventually progress the ball. You see the subtle difference there between the 6 and the 8 in terms of that dribbling to progress. Similar qualities in terms of what is needed technically, but tactically where that happens and what their role is slightly different. Right? If you're an 8 and you can't link up and get the ball forward enough, then it's going to be it's not, maybe that may not be your ideal position. All right, maybe it's a 10, maybe it's a 6, but that 8, that's why I say it's a very unique position in that there's some really different responsibilities. And then obviously turning, as I said, you're going to receive the ball higher up the field, so at times you're not going to be able to face the goal you receive. So here's Pogba receiving back to goal, nice little turn to elude the defender, and now again we talk about dribbling to progress there. I think the next one might be Xavi. I don't know. Oh, no, this is Iniesta receiving in the box. So he's turning inside the box. All right. So again, the 8 sometimes is in a more advanced area. So he's actually receiving that ball in the penalty area and turns to go and score a goal. So again, that idea of the 8 can pop up anywhere on the field, and being comfortable closer to their own goal or higher up, closer to the goal they're scoring on, are very, very important. Replay the first turn video, Nate. I don't know if you saw that.
Yep.
The Pogba one, I think.
Yep.
You see Pogba, a little touch. He's got to know that he's got to know that pressure is there behind him, so that he can take that touch. Yep, no problem, Taylor. Thanks for asking. Did it start? Did it replay? It started on its own?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
We're going to 10.
I'll just go through. I'll run through the physical qualities. So the finishing, you can see that little clip from Iniesta at the end. You're going to have to be able to finish from distance in and around the top of the box is important, but also from close range, because hopefully you're going to be getting into the box every once in a while. If you're good with your head, it's fine. But like when you think of 8s, you think of Iniesta, Xavi. They kind of interchange between the 8 and the 10. They can finish with their head, but are they known for it? No. You think of the 10, the same thing. Messi kind of plays like a 9 or a 10, like that false 9 role. He can score with his head, but it's not like it's the way he's scoring his goals a lot. But when we look at we go to look at the mental aspects of the 8. We need to be aggressive. All right. You see that you got to cover that space. If you're going to get forward, you have to go. You can't wait. You have to be intelligent to be able to recognize that. But most importantly, you have to be independent. If you're waiting around for somebody to tell you where to go, hey, go a little bit wider. Hey, it's time to drop in and help out your holding mid or your center backs get out. Or, hey, you need to get into the box. If you're waiting for that, then it's not really a great fit for you potentially. You really need to be independent and say, hey, this is what I'm going to do. The biggest one, I think, for the 8 and the 10 is comfort with 360 degrees of action. If you think about center backs, the game's in front of them. Fullbacks, the game is in front of them. Forwards, the game is kind of behind them, right? Like they're going to goal. But the game happens around all the players on the field, all right? But in particular, the 8 and the 10, it's going on all around them. What's going on behind me? What's going on in front of me? All right, you constantly have opponents and teammates from both sides. If you're a forward, you have some teammates running in front of you, but usually only 1 or 2. You'll have more behind you, and that's your reference point to get the ball. But for the 8 and the 10 in particular, that you really have to be comfortable having that game completely surrounding you. And some people aren't comfortable in that role. And that's okay, but that just might tell you, hey, I'm better in this where I can see more of the game from a different perspective. You've got to be able to solve problems. Same as the 6, you've got to be disciplined and decisive. All right. And then I think with the 8, an important mental aspect is you need to relish, you need to really like individual battles. Again, everybody has individual battles they have to fight, but the 8 is constantly like roving and looking for those individual battles. Kind of, again, being that link player. I'm gonna take this individual battle on 1v1 in an attacking phase so we can get forward more. Or I'm gonna go and step and put more pressure on this opponent who has the ball in order to try to get the ball back quicker for my team. So I think if you really like those individual battles, the 8 is a good fit. And then physical, again, you got to be mobile, got to be explosive. So again, you don't have to necessarily be fast, but you definitely have to be able to burst forward quickly or burst back quickly to help recover defensively over probably like 5 to 15, 20 yards. You've got to be versatile, meaning that you've got to do some high repetition sprints, but then you also have to, you've got to have some aerobic capacity as well. You have to have strength, you need agility, and then you definitely need that fitness to play box to box. All right, you are expected to be back in your own box defending, and you're expected to be in and around your own box to attack. So that would be a key aspect from a physical perspective. You need to be one of the fittest players on your team and on the field. So I think that would be a key aspect there. If you don't like fitness, then the 8 probably isn't. If you don't like running, the 8's probably not your position. If you love to run all around, the 8 might be a good fit for you. So move on to the 10 to 8. The video links worked a little better there, so that's good. So hopefully we'll see what we look like here with a 10. Maybe it keeps getting better and better. So again, 1v1 duels, first touch to create an exploit space, range of passing to open the opposition. All right, so there's how many ways can we get passes that penetrate beyond the defenders, all right, to open them up and create goal scoring opportunities. Is it nice if the 6 or 8 can do that? Absolutely, but the 10 has to do that. If you can only play connecting passes that keep possession but don't really hurt the opponent, then the 10 may not be the best fit for you. You really need to be brave with some passes and understand that if you want a 90% completion percentage rate, definitely the 10's not for you, because you need to play some risky passes in the attacking third that, if they're successful, do create big opportunities for our team. And if they're not, it's not the end of the world. We're not going to get any reward without any risk. So the 1v1 duels, turning, again, you're going to receive the ball in areas where you have to turn, and then finishing ability. And you're going to have a variety of finishing ability, less maybe from outside the box and more in and around the box. But the 1v1 duels are going to tend to be more towards the goal, so it's going to center around dribbling and maybe some combination play. And we can think of some of the players here. This is Lika Martens, plays for the Netherlands and Barcelona. So you see her receiving the ball in a wider position, cutting in, beating opponents, and then finding a teammate wide open in the middle of the penalty area. All right, so that's one way where you have that 1v1 ability as a 10. Is it frozen again?
No, I just won't give you my mouse.
Okay. So again, Lika Martens taking a player on 1v1, cutting inside, and creating her own shot here. All right, her shot is a little too accurate right at the goalkeeper, but that, again, that's the kind of 1v1 situation we need to see from our 10. All right, so that one, she created her own shot, so now the defenders are worried about the shot, but you see in the previous one, she set up the pass, so now the defenders have to focus on that as well. All right, this is Kai Havertz, plays for Bayer Leverkusen. You see him receiving the ball in some areas that are a little bit more advanced and attacking. Kai Havertz is probably the closest thing to a true 10 right now playing the game. People might think of Kevin De Bruyne. He tends to play a little bit wider. Even like Bernardo Silva or David Silva, both from Manchester City, they both tend to play a little bit wider than a classic 10. All right. But again, this is Alexandresa from Brazil and Barcelona. Again, just taking players on. That first touch to create or exploit space. This is Kai Havertz again. First touch sets him up there for an easy finish. and receives the ball. And again, this is kind of an area where you expect the 10 to receive the ball a lot, you know, closer to goal, closer to his penalty area. First touch there, sets himself up, provokes the defender, and then finds an easy pass to an open teammate who's able to finish after some dreadful goalkeeping. So again, you're going to take that first touch, and can you provoke the defenders? Can you put them under pressure with your first touch? And this is Thiago Almeida from Vélez Sarsfield in Argentina. Again, that first touch beats the defender, creates a goal. Your 10 should score more goals. All right, you should see some more goal scoring from your 10. Maybe not as much as your 9 or even your 7 and 11. But the range of passing, so the pass is going to be similar. They're going to be in and around the box. We talked about opening the opposition. So again, clever little pass there. That's from Messi in behind. So just that little slip pass in and around the box. That's a pass you kind of need to master. The weight on it, the timing of it. Also the surface of your foot. You might use a variety of surfaces in order to execute that pass. Again, there's that little dink or chip pass. All right, you see that from those players. So you see those midfielders. It's something you've seen that 3 times now from 3 different positions. So it's definitely something to think about and work on. A nice little reverse pass there from Messi in behind. Again, Messi's not necessarily a 10, but he definitely plays that way and where he positions himself on the field. So we kind of use him as a reference point for that. A little bit of a longer pass there. That was actually David Silva. And then that little bump pass, little dink, I call it. Ball comes into Kai Havertz there, and he just like clips it in without even looking at it. So just a little off the side of the foot or off the inside of the foot and chipped in behind. That could be on the ground as well, or it could be in the air like it was. So the dribbling, obviously, we said we want to penetrate a little bit more as a 10. And one just doesn't want to, it might not be set up to go play full screen, so that might be the issue. This is Jennifer Marajan, plays for Olympique Lyon and also plays for Germany. The clips are kind of choppy, which is probably my fault, but you see she's just dribbling there to protect or to find a way to penetrate in behind. Again, turning, we saw some similar, there's going to be similar, probably just a little bit higher up the field. That was David Silva getting receiving the ball and turning to get away and then play the penetrating pass. You see that little turn there? That was Awar, plays for, there's some nice turns here. Plays for Olympique Lyon. French player, didn't quite make the World Cup squad.
They could have put 2 squads together.
They probably could have played 2 squads, yeah. So just that ability to receive, especially on the attacking foot or the front foot. All right, there he receives on the back foot, but then uses it for a turn. Nice little turn there. And then obviously finishing ability, you're going to find yourself in and around the box a little bit more often. So this is Alessandressa. Again, plays for Brazil and Barcelona. Makes that run in behind and then just that simple drag across her body to slot it into the far corner. There's Lika Martins from just outside the box. This one, you might remember this goal from last summer. Rose Lavelle on the women's side, probably the classic attacking midfielder 10 right now. So just driving that ball, taking it on, comfortable on both feet, you'll see from Rose. I think the next one's from Rose as well. This one kind of deals with, maybe it's in the positioning one.
Waiting for it to get my mouse.
Yeah. Yeah, that's just Alex Andressa again, just dribbling around the goalkeeper. All right, so again, you find yourself making those runs in the box, so that 1v1 ability in terms of finishing is important. From a tactical perspective, positioning to be dangerous. So we've got to find ourselves in advanced areas as a 10. We've got to be able to penetrate on the run, as we've seen in some of those technical clips, but then we also have to do it with the ball as well and beat players on the dribble. As an attacking player, we need to make play predictable, and then we need to recover space defensively to get back and help out. We can't just hang out up top the whole time, or recover the ball as well. We're going to find ourselves in tight spaces. The closer we get to the goal we're trying to score on, obviously, the less space we have, the more compact defenders become. So we've got to be able to solve those problems. And then we need to have some vision. We're not going to be able to find penetrating passes. We're not going to be able to penetrate on the dribble ourselves if we can't look up and have the vision to kind of interpret what is needed right now. Do we need to pass? Do we need to dribble? Do I need to provoke the player out of position and then take advantage of the space they've left? So we definitely need to have that quality. So
Video. Try it.
what's that?
Want to try the
Yeah,
video?
we could try it. Yeah, we could try it.
Here, you give one of each.
Yeah, there we go. So this is Rose. So she's just kind of framing the box right now. So there's going to be a ball played into the box. So she's just hanging around that area, and she deals with the clearance to get her own shot off. All right, so that's one way that she puts herself in a dangerous position. When we send out the PowerPoint, you'll be able to see the other one. Here's Rose again, taking an advanced position. All right, she's in dangerous space. So she's attracting the attention of the defenders, which is going to open up space for her teammate 9, and then she's going to run beyond that and receive the ball, all right, and actually score a goal. All right, again, Rose in an advanced area, ball's not on her side of the field, but she's going to put herself in position to receive that little cutback ball in the box and score. All right, so again, finding these advanced areas. All right, you don't always have to get the ball right away, but maybe it's the next pass you're available for, or you're available for the knockdown pass. Nice little nutmeg there. Apparently show it from every angle, just to embarrass the defender. It's an English player, though, so we're okay. And you see Rose position herself at the top of the box there, kind of to direct play. All right, she's going to stay with it. Talk about that dynamic first touch to escape pressure from the technical piece. So the make play predictable one is kind of a long one. I don't know if you want to play that one, but basically our job, you see the attacking midfielder. So you see it's CAM. So just watch how that player they don't win the ball. All they're going to do is squeeze the play and basically force a long ball just by their positioning. So that's an important job. If that central midfielder does not get over to apply that pressure, then that long ball doesn't happen. So is that going to happen with a long ball all the time? No, but basically your job as a central midfielder is to force the opponent to only play on one half of the field. So can you apply enough pressure that they have to only go into a smaller area of the field? And this is just tracking back to, you see, just staying with the play. So we just stay with the play. It's Kai Havertz. Both clips are Kai Havertz recovering. Just coming back to win the ball, not just staying high up top and waiting for his teammates to win the ball and play it back to him, but actively becoming part of the defense to get back. And your teammates appreciate that and then end up doing a lot more work to get the ball to your feet when you put that kind of work in. We just look here at Rose's positioning again, and then that penetration into the box, gets a shot off, and it gets the goal. So you see how she just kind of provokes, draws the defender in. And is able to create the spot herself, create the shot for herself. So that tight space, almost inviting herself into that tight space. And then being able to solve the problem. And lots of players around.
Try one more, or?
Yeah, we can go one more. It's our last video, so. So then you can see Rose here. So vision to interpret the game. She receives the ball. She's positioned herself where she can receive it, and now she's going to drive forward. She's got to pick her head up. Do I stay on the ball and carry it? Do I pass to the teammate who's ahead of me? Or do I allow that now that space is opened up by that 9's run? All right, again, vision to interpret the game. Head up, what am I going to do with the ball? This time she decides to play the little reverse pass, all right, because Rapinoe is wide open. So it's just that vision and understanding of when do I release the ball? Where do I release it? Why am I playing it there? And having that understanding. So we look at the mental aspects of it. Again, you got to be aggressive. You got to have some creativity and some intelligence. All right. The more organized defenses are, the more we have to figure out ways to get around it. We talked about the 360-degree comfort with action around us, problem solving. Resilience, I think, is important because, again, you're going to try risky passes, and you know, the 6 needs to have 9 out of their 10 passes need to be completed accurately if your team's going to have a chance of keeping the ball. As an attacking midfielder, as a 10, you're going to try entry passes for it. You're not going to end up with 8 assists in a game. You're going to end up with maybe 1 or 2, but you're not going to only play 1 or 2 passes to get those assists. So I think you have to be resilient and stick with it and try to figure out what those problems or how to solve those problems. And then the last point there, willing to take those risks, right? So those two things go hand in hand. I'm willing to take it, and I'm resilient when I face failure. I'm not going to stop trying. I'm not going to stop taking those risks. I'm going to be resilient, and I'm going to figure out the way or how I'm going to be successful, and I'm going to keep taking risks rather than becoming more cautious. And so that'll take us to our last slide. We actually didn't do too bad in terms of time, considering all the issues with the video. So mobility, again, you've got to be able to move around the field in a variety of positions to find those open spaces. Got to be explosive. You see those little change of speed as well. Those two things kind of go hand in hand. We got to go from fast to slow, slow to fast, and then fast again. Got to have some strength, maybe a different kind of strength than our 6, but we definitely have to deal with defenders. If you're the 10, you're most often going to be matched up against the 2 center backs, the 4 and 5, and the opposing 6, who their qualities are strength. So you're going to have to figure out how to outmaneuver them and how to maybe outmuscle them in certain ways. The agility, ability to change direction. And then again, fitness to play box to box. You're still going to have to track back, and you're going to be expected to get into your penalty box more than, say, the 8 or the 6. So you definitely have to have that high level of fitness for that positioning too. And just to constantly find the space, constantly searching for the right position. If you're going to be static and just stay around the middle and hope your teammates find you with the ball, then you're not going to have the ball up very often. And if you don't have a high level of fitness, then you're not going to be able to make those movements around the field. So that should be it, I believe.
Yeah.
All right. So again, appreciate it. Appreciate you guys putting up with the choppy video and the video kind of having a mind of its own. We'll post the actual presentation, which should not have those problems, hopefully. I guess to the webpage. Is that right, Nate?
Yeah, they'll be on the webpage. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Yeah, and we'll see if we can sort out some of the videos so we don't post it so you don't have the same problems we did. So thanks, everybody. Appreciate it. Enjoy the rest of your day.